What's going on, my Detroit Lions fans? A little Saturday night special for you guys. I haven't done a Saturday night show in quite a while, so I'm a little excited. And I will be taking Sunday off, just unless something urgent happens. I don't foresee anything going on, and the Lions have an off day from training camp, so I'll probably just enjoy my Sunday with my family and some friends after I get off work. But Saturday night special, a little late night evening show with Stevie P, Detroit Den 313. What we're going to talk about today is something that Jack Campbell said in a post-training camp workout interview. Kind of piqued my interest, and I was kind of planning on doing something along these lines, but I did have to make a couple tweaks, but I might go back and do the original video eventually one day before the season starts. I think it would be more fitting, but I do have a little something in the works. So Jack Campbell, after practice the other day, was asked about this defense and his predictions and where he thinks they will rank at the end of the year, and someone said, do you think that this is a top 10 defense? Jack Campbell goes, absolutely, it's a top 10 defense. Got playmakers. Why settle for top 10, though? Why not be the best defense in the NFL? And man, that immediately piqued my eyebrows, got me thinking, man, Jack, I love the confidence. And I hope to God Captain Jack Campbell is right, because if this defense is not only top 10, you put us in the top 5, top 1, best defense in the league, top 3 offense, special teams nightmare to match up against with all these trick plays and playmakers we got on special teams, we might be the most dominant team in the NFL, dare I say. Dare I say it? Let's just get into some facts. What did we really lose from our defense in 2023? Cam Sutton. Did we upgrade from Cam Sutton? 1,000%. And again, not here to throw shade. We say it all the time. Cam Sutton was a type of player that we did not have to talk about last season. Until we got into kind of the grind time when we were going against Justin Jefferson twice, CeeDee Lamb, Mike Evans, Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp. We were going against some of the big dogs. I don't know if I said CeeDee Lamb. The Detroit Lions were going against some stacked offenses at the end of the year. Cam Sutton got exposed. Now, he would probably still be on the team if it wasn't for his whole scandal thing, and I think our team would look good if we still had Cam Sutton. I'm not going to say we won't. Probably changes up our draft strategy a little bit, but we're not going to cry over spilled milk. And I'm not crying at all because, like I said, we upgraded. So, is that really all we lost? Was just Cam Sutton? Because I look at this defense. Let's get into some of the additions that we've added. You guys know the names: DJ Reader, Marcus Davenport, Amik Robertson. Go out and draft Terrion Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw. Those are. Let's see, that's at least 3 starters right off the rip. DJ Reader, Marcus Davenport, Amik Robertson. Terrion Arnold, possible 4th starter. At least 4 starters on this Detroit Lions defense from last year. Find me a team in history, and I'm not saying that it's not out there, so if you guys have an answer for me, leave it in the comments. Find me a team in NFL history that has went to the NFC Championship game, come back and add 4 starters to their defense the next year. I'm not even mentioning Emmanuel Mosley, who we didn't really see last year. So all of these additions in a minor subtraction, another year for Aaron Glenn, another year for Aiden Hutchinson, who I think is going to have an absolute monster year. Can't even talk about Aiden Hutchinson because we just know what he's going to go out and do. You know, there's not going to be any surprise when Hutch shows up and has double-digit sacks. We don't even really need to mention him. He is kind of the anchor of the defense. But I want to get into what I think is the most important piece on this Detroit Lions defense. The most critical piece, in my opinion, and I've been saying this since the NFC Championship game. Mark my words, you can go back, check the film. Moving Brian Branch to full-time safety is going to be a huge difference for this defense. Taking him out of the nickel spot, and in that nickel spot, you can put Amik Robertson, maybe Terrion Arnold, maybe Ennis Rakestraw. Emmanuel Mosley's been getting some reps. You take Brian Branch, you put him at full-time safety. San Francisco found a way. They found a little kink in our armor in that NFC Championship game. And I've referenced this before. They found a way to get their personnel groups out there where we didn't need a nickel cornerback, and Brian Branch had to come off the field. He's one of our most explosive weapons. I will say Brian Branch is probably the biggest Swiss Army knife we have defensively. He could play nickel. He could play corner. He could play safety. He could play somewhat of like a little hybrid linebacker, if you want to call it that. Kind of like if you're a Michigan football fan, kind of reminds me a little bit of like how Michigan used Jabril Peppers. Just play a little bit of everything. He could blitz. He can cover a running back, tight end, wide receiver, you name it. So I kind of was thinking about that earlier today. Like, who does he really remind me of? And what came to my mind, Michigan Jabril Peppers. Great athlete, can do a lot of different things. I think that's a good comparison. If you guys have a different one, leave it in the comments as well. So I think Brian Branch playing full-time safety for this team, and also that was going to allow Kirby Joseph to really, really, really focus on playing center field type safety. And Kirby's come out and said he wants to lead the NFL in interceptions this year. That's a bold prediction. I hope he's right. I think he has the ball hawking skills to do it. And I haven't even had to mention Ife Melifonwu, a kid who I think is a phenomenal blitzer, a bigger safety, also can play that type of hybrid type linebacker. Maybe you stuff him in the box. Maybe he's covering some tight ends. If he can do a lot of things too, man. So we have weapons at all three levels of defense. Defensive line, Aiden Hutchinson. Ali McNeil, contract year. Marcus Davenport, healthy, he's a problem. DJ Reader, he's a problem. I mean, let's get into some of the backups. So I think if Broderick Martin, Levi Onwuzurike, who I saw getting some reps the other day, you had those two guys in the mix on your defensive line and you keep everyone fresh, who's stopping it? Who's going to score on this defense? And I've thrown out some stats for you guys in the past, and I don't exactly have them written down or completely memorized, but I will say at one point last year, our defense was like 23rd in points allowed. Or no, it was 23 points allowed per game. And that was toward the bottom of the list. At one point, we were 30 points per game. I did the math. You guys can check this out. At one point, the Detroit Lions were giving up 30 points a game, and most of that came from that Ravens game. So somewhere around that area where we kind of made some adjustments, we got a little bit better. We got that down to about 23 points. What do the Detroit Lions need to do to get to a number one defense? I don't think it's anything crazy. I don't care about sacks. It's nice. It's sexy. Who led the NFL in sacks this past year? Baltimore Ravens. We got just as far as they did, guys. Got just as far. We made the playoffs, didn't make the Super Bowl. Doesn't really matter. Defensive line, our playmakers there, Aiden Hutchinson, you know that. Ali McNeil, like I said, we got guys we can rotate in. Let's talk about who I started this episode with, Jack Campbell. I think he's going to take a monster step in year two. He looked good in OTAs. He looked good in mandatory minicamp where he was there. He was making plays, interceptions on Hendon Hooker. I think Jack Campbell's due for a monster year. I really, really, truly feel that. And somewhat, I can't remember where I heard this. And, if you know me, I love to give my credit when I hear something. They were saying that Jack Campbell, I can't take credit for this quote, so someone else has it, not me, but I have to repeat it. Jack Campbell had to play out of position last year because he was that good to get on a football field. So that's why they were putting him at sand linebacker. When he was playing middle linebacker, he was playing damn good ball. Problem, Alex Anzalone. We have another playmaker at another level on this football field. Alex Anzalone, over 100 tackles last year, led the Detroit Lions. We had some questions about his contract extension. Is he worth that type of extension? He answered that question last year. I'm absolutely worth every dime you guys just gave me and that 3-year contract. So Alex Anzalone is quietly becoming one of the most respected linebackers in the NFL, in my opinion. I think he flies very under the radar. And if you go to the Lions games, you'll notice when the defense comes out of the tunnel and they're doing the announcements, Aiden Hutchinson gets the loudest pop. Who's second? In my opinion, I think it's Alex Anzalone, man. We love him here in Detroit. He's just the definition of Detroit football, man. Plays hard, gonna just show up, do the dirty work, doesn't need any credit. I'm just out here to play football. So it's really hard for Jack Campbell to play that middle spot when Alex Anzalone's on the field. But Jack Campbell's so damn good, you got to give him the field somewhere, even if it's a position he's going to struggle. And I think he did struggle a little bit in that same linebacker spot, but he did look good blitzing. So just playmakers there. Derek Barnes took another nice step last year. So we got guys at all three levels. Secondary, Carlton Davis, Terrion Arnold, Brian Branch. I just did like a whole spiel on him. We have players on this defense, all three levels. Defensive line, linebacker, defensive back. We're going to be a tough team to score against. So like I said, averaging around 23 points per game last year, what do we need to do to get that down, to get into that top-notch defensive rankings? Can we get that down to 16, 17 points? We're not talking anything crazy. We're talking 2 field goals. We're talking shaving 2 field goals off of points we've given up. I don't think it's anything absurd. I think it's more than capable. We've had Aaron Glenn here for quite a while. He's familiar with a lot of these guys. I think we're due for a monster year, guys. And I can't even get off of here. I can't end a show without talking about Terrell Williams, who Dan Campbell is praising already. We're literally week 1 into training camp, and Dan Campbell's come out and said that he's noticed a difference in the defensive line with fundamentals. And he gave a shout out and credit to Terrell Williams, the best defensive line coach in the NFL. He said that, and he's on the record saying that, guys. I'm telling you right now, I've been very scared this whole offseason of what this defense is going to look like. You know my mentality. Detroit Lions win football games if that defense is improved. That's kind of where I was last year. I showed up. I was very confident. It's kind of like hey, Detroit Lions are going to get a win today, but there was that if the Detroit Lions defense plays well. I think we got rid of that if. I do think we will be top 10. I don't know about number 1, but I really, truly hope that Jack Campbell's right. Love the confidence, guys. So leave some comments down below. Let me know how you feel about these comments. I am going to retweet the video of him saying this. If you guys want to check us out on Twitter, you can see what I'm kind of talking about a little bit more for a little bit more context. Hit that like button. Stick around. I'll be back later with another show.